Today on the Make Sure to Dislike This Video Says podcast, I'll be discussing Logitech shutting down and retiring Blue microphones, the results to my experiment last week, and other stuff too, so go ahead and stick around. Let's start with an absolutely mind-boggling piece of news from the gaming industry. Logitech is retiring Blue microphones. The brand is going kaput. It was announced on Reddit that Blue Microphones, the brand, is being absorbed under Logitech G, which is Logitech's gaming industry. And on Reddit, Logitech posted about this and they said, "We're excited to announce that the Astro Gaming, Blue Microphones, and Logitech for Creator teams are joining up with Logitech G. In some instances, we have been partnered together for quite some time. Did you know Astro joined Logitech back in 2017? This change will drive a deeper connection between gamers and content creators while giving you a chance to build a setup that allows you to do both." That is only the introduction paragraph to a very long Reddit post. I have a few more snippets that I will share, but if you want to read the entirety of the post, I'll link it in the description and the episode notes. And in that paragraph, they say Astro has been a part of Logitech since 2017. Blue joined Logitech in 2018. So it's been about 5 years that Blue has been a part of the Logitech team. And after they joined Logitech, they released the Yeti X, the Yeti Nano, and I think that's about it. Oh, and the new Logitech Creators Broadcast Dynamic Microphone, which I was surprised was pretty good. But that paragraph only discusses Astro. I don't care about Astro. If you care about Astro, go somewhere else. I am not discussing it. I only care about Blue microphones in this story. So let's go ahead and look at some of the questions they answered regarding Blue microphones. Will the Blue microphones brand go away? The answer is, we will be keeping the Yeti brand and moving it under Logitech G. The Blue name will be used to describe our technologies, e.g., Blue voice filters that we offer on select Logitech G headsets. To me, that seems like a roundabout way of saying, yes, Blue microphones, that brand is going away. We are just using the Blue brand name now to describe our audio products. This is a Logitech microphone powered by Blue. This is our Blue voice software. So, sounds like we aren't going to be seeing Blue microphones anymore. And we'll discuss that a little bit more, but let's discuss the justification, what they say the justification for this move is. Why does this benefit me if I'm not a creator? Often, gaming involves tools that also help creators. Great mics and cameras add a lot to gameplay, and with this merge, you'll see tighter integration within all products now under the Logitech G brand. That response and that answer I find to be very telling because they specifically point out great mics and cameras and tighter integration within all products under this brand. So if I'm interpreting this and reading between the lines, why do I think they are actually doing this? It's a one-word answer. Can you guess what it's going to be? El Gato. I used to think that was a two-word answer, El Gato, the cat. Nope, single word, El Gato. I think El Gato has kind of spanked everybody in the content creator and streamer marketplace. The integration of all of their equipment, the ease of use of all of their equipment, the quality of the vast majority of their equipment is incredible compared to the competition. Elgato has the microphones, they have the interfaces, they have the lights, they have the stands, they have the software, they have the controllers, they have the webcams, and all of it is controlled with really usable, well-designed, good UI software that's compatible on Windows and Mac. It is fantastic. I have used some Logitech equipment, like Logitech webcams. If you have not used Logitech webcam software in the past, you are living a very fortunate life because it is hell. It is one of the circles of hell, Logitech webcam software. And because of that user experience, I imagine a lot of people said, heck this, I'm not going to use this garbage software, these old, outdated products anymore. I'm going to go to the company that actually thought to themselves, what does a streamer really need? What does a content creator really need? And then they make those products, which is how I view what Elgato has done. They didn't rest on their laurels. They looked at the marketplace and said, what is missing? What can we actually do to solve problems? As opposed to, it's a product, it's a webcam. Everybody else is doing it too, but we'll throw our hat in the ring as well. Instead of doing that, they said, we want to solve problems. Here is a problem, let us solve it. And they did it extremely well. So I think this entire move by Logitech G is to try to capture some of the market that Elgato has eaten up. The market that Elgato has kind of dominated. The way that Rode has dominated the podcast mixer, the content creator mixer. Just dominating that. Elgato seems to be dominating the content creator marketplace in terms of lights, controllers, foot switches, webcams, mics, interfaces, software, all of that. Just dominating. So as far as Logitech G retiring blue microphones, what does that mean? In the Reddit, one of the questions is, are you planning to discontinue any products? And the response is, we do not plan to discontinue any products as part of this merge. Why did I say discontinue in such a weird way? I don't know. But if you go to bluemics.com, go ahead and try this. Where does it take you? It doesn't go to Blue Microphones, it goes to Logitech's website. And if you look at the microphones that are available, what microphones are available? The Blue Yeti, the Blue Snowball, and the Logitech Blue Sona. I think I got that right. I don't think there's even a Blue Ember on there. So I don't know if they are being clever with their words, saying, hey, we're not going to discontinue any products as part of this merge. But what they mean is, yeah, we already discontinued them. All of those blue microphones were already discontinued, so we're not discontinuing them because of this merge, but we already discontinued them. Or we're discontinuing them because they're not profitable enough. Not because of this merge, but because we don't make enough money. We don't sell enough. I think it's kind of sad. I really think it's kind of sad. Yes, I have been extremely critical of the Blue Yeti. Not because I think it's a terrible microphone, but because I think the design lends to it being misused frequently by people who don't understand what they're buying. Because of that, I think there are better options for people. Newer, more up-to-date options that are less confusing and easier to use. It's the same thing with the SM7B. I am not exclusively critical of the Blue Yeti. The SM7B has kind of become the Blue Yeti. People buy it without understanding what they're buying, so there are a lot of examples of people getting terrible results with the SM7B. In many videos, I say, do not buy a microphone just because it's popular. In my When You Should Upgrade video, I think it was. Don't buy the Blue Yeti and don't buy the SM7B just because you see people using it. Buy them because they are the correct option for you, if they are the correct option for you. But even though I think the Yeti has been misused, I've enjoyed quite a few blue microphones. I really enjoyed the Baby Bottle SL. I thought that was a great sounding microphone. I got a response from MKBHD's audio producer saying the Blue Bluebird SL, or the Blue Bluebird, is one of his favorite microphones, or was one of his favorites, under $300. Those microphones were good. They were very usable, they were fairly priced and well designed. The Blue Mouse, used by Rhett and Link, yes, a $1,200-$1,300 microphone, but sounded fantastic. You have the Blue Kiwi. You had the Blue Blueberry. You had the Blue Dragonfly. And then you had the Blue Bottle. The microphone used by Blink-182. Yeah, the blue bottle was it was the size of my forearm. It was I can't remember the name of it. It was a capsule style microphone where you actually remove the top to get different capsules on it. You could have different polar patterns. I don't know if there was anything else different because I have never used it. I haven't looked too much into it because I had no plans on ever spending that much money on it, but seemed like a very popular microphone that sounded pretty good. Yet they appear to be discontinued because they aren't anywhere on their websites. Now, it could be that they just haven't rolled them over, but I'm not expecting it. I'm thinking Logitech just bought Blue so they could get the Yeti, because the Yeti is in every Best Buy, every electronics store. I think it's in Targets, Walmarts, I'm sure. The Yeti and the Snowball. Let's not forget the Snowball, because the Snowball is in every Best Buy and Target and electronics store as well. And that's where the real money is. They're probably selling 1 million of those microphones a year. And this is one of the biggest issues that I have with the fact that Blue was bought by a company that is traded publicly. This is something that I hate about the stock market more than pretty much anything else. The fact that the analysts, the fact that the market, the fact that the investors only care about quarter-to-quarter growth. They don't care about 10 years. They don't care about 30 years. They just want to see quarter-over-quarter growth. They want to see year-over-year growth. They want to see significant quarter-over-quarter and year-over-year growth. What was your growth last year? Make it better. 4% last year? Make it 5%. That is our expectation. Hit it, or you will be punished. And because there is such short-sighted views of things by the stock market and by the analysts, you see moves like this. Logitech, a gaming company, a peripheral company, buying what I would classify as a modern, legendary microphone manufacturer and killing the products that made that company legendary, that made that company a classic. The blue bottle, the blue baby bottle, the blue kiwi, the blue blueberry, the blue ember. All of those are microphones that were pretty darn good. Were they my favorite? No. But a lot of people loved them, and it did the brand really well. But I'm guessing to meet analyst expectations, market expectations, looks like they discontinued them, and that's kind of sad to me. I'll end this story by including a quote from Skipper Wise, which was shared with The Verge, which I will link the article of in the description. And if you don't know, Skipper Wise is one of the founders of Blue Microphones. He says, "I'm happy it's continuing. I wish the Blue name was continuing." Blue Microphones co-founder Skipper Wise tells The Verge, "I'd rather see Blue because it represents a series and an idea and a culture and a brand." He adds, pointing out that the name stands for Baltic Latvian Universal Electronics to honor his Latvian co-founder, Martins Salspurins. Still, he says, he doesn't have any business telling Logitech what to do with it. "I don't have any ownership or rights to it. I sold it. I understand that and accept it." That is it. I would love to hear from you in the comments on YouTube. What are your thoughts on this? Are you sad to see Blue microphones going away? Do you think they will ever bring back those professional XLR microphones, or do you think they're gone forever? From my perspective, it looks like they're gone, and I'm kind of bummed about it. All right, that is it for the news there. I will link the article from The Verge, and I will link the Reddit post in the description in case you want to read a bit more. Now let's jump to YouTube news. I am going to provide an update to the experiment that we ran last week, where I wanted everybody to like the video to see how it impacted distribution, performance, all of that. And as I promised, I said I will open up my analytics to you, and that is exactly what we are going to be doing. If you are just listening, I will try to make this as immersive for you as possible, but I would recommend going over to the YouTube video so you can see all of the graphics that I show. I noticed absolutely no difference in performance from a regular podcast episode, and last week's podcast episode. And there was a significant difference in terms of the likes. That's the one thing that was different, the amount of likes and the ratio of likes. We had 337 likes and a 100% like to dislike ratio. That's fantastic. Fantastic. So how did the video perform in comparison to the prior 10 videos? 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10, right smack dab in the middle. That led to 1.3 thousand views, which is right on par, 3.9% click-through rate, which is right on par, and a view duration of 13.5 minutes, which is actually up. As far as the most liked video on the channel, we did not hit that. As I mentioned, this had 337 likes, which made it the 14th most liked video on the channel. Then I compared the impressions of last week's podcast against the 5 prior podcasts, and the impressions are all pretty similar between the last 6 episodes, between 16 and 20,000 impressions. There was one standout there, and that was BSP-350, which ended up with about 26.5 thousand impressions. Higher impressions, also a higher view count. When we compare those two videos across a number of analytics to try to find out why BSP-345 got more impressions and more views than 349, when we look at likes, what is that? 109 likes for BSP-345, 337 on BSP-349. So the video that got significantly more impressions and views had significantly less likes than last week's episode. What about view duration? Because that's really important. The actual amount of time somebody watched the episode. 8.5 minutes for BSP-345, 13.75 minutes for BSP-349. So the view duration on the video that got more impressions and more views was worse than last week's episode. This is making no sense. The analytics are worse for the video that performed better. What about comments? The actual engagement, the interactions between content creator and consumer, because that's all you are. You're not a viewer. You're not a part of our community. You are a consumer. 21 comments on 345. 34 comments on last week's episode. Less engagement on the video that did better in terms of impressions and views. So what about click-through rate? You already know 349 got a 3.9% click-through rate. Episode 345 got 4.9% click-through rate. There we go. We have one analytic that makes a bit of sense. It has a higher click-through rate, therefore higher views, that makes sense, but also higher impressions. It seems like I am completely speculating here. To me, it looks like YouTube is viewing that higher click-through rate as an indication that the video has a greater appeal to more people. So they're going to show it to more people. So click-through rate may actually be kind of important, at least based on this single data set. There's one video that I am doing this with. And then let's look at subscribers gained. On last week's episode, we gained 7. I think that's pretty successful. But on episode 345, we gained 20. So from this one experiment, from this one data point, I see zero benefit from advocating so heavily for likes, for getting a 100% like to dislike ratio. 337 likes on a video with 1,000 views, 1,300 views. That's about, what would that be, 30% about? 25%? That's pretty dang good. That's a pretty dang good like ratio. Zero benefit. Zero that I see. So to me, as I already said, it seems like that click-through rate may be incredibly important in determining if YouTube is going to distribute it to more people. The like button, I saw no benefit. And then maybe the subscriber thing is a good indicator of viewer satisfaction, because what would tell YouTube, hey, this is a really satisfying video, more than somebody saying, I need more of this. Tell me when more of it is available. So maybe that subscribe thing is really important. We'll have to do that later. We'll test out the subscriber thing on a later episode. But in the meantime, we need to run the second part of this experiment on this week's episode. So I am going to do the thing. Get ready to smash that dislike button. Go ahead and punch that dislike button. Let's make this the most disliked video on this channel. Hate this video. Dislike it. Go ahead and dislike it. That hurt my throat. The black lung pop. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. Was this interesting to you? Seeing all the analytics? I found it very fun diving into this level because I don't go into this level of analytics. I don't bother with it. I don't care about it. But trying to determine what is actually impacting a successful video versus a on par video, an average video, then I'll have to look at a poor performing video, see what the analytics tell me. I found that quite fun. So go ahead and dislike this video. If you're listening to the audio only, go over to YouTube, click the dislike button. Let's see if the negative indicator for satisfaction has an impact. Maybe I'll kill my channel with this. And that would be just terrible if I destroyed this channel, but that would be a good piece of data to have and pass along. Likes are so important. No, dislikes are so important that they will kill your channel. That is it for the news. That is it for the experiment. Now let's talk about what I've been testing. You have been listening to it. I am still on the Lewitt Pure Tube. I did a cover using this song. If you want to listen to it, link in the description and link in the episode notes. Or you could go to youtube.com/BandrewPlays. I did a cover of World is on Heroin by the band All. I did acoustic and singing. I thought it sounded pretty good. I didn't do too much processing. I did a bit of EQ, I did compression, and I added some reverb. Hindsight 2020, I really wish I put a touch of de-essing on the vocal mics. The background vocals were fine because I have been experimenting and trying different methods of blending background vocals with the lead vocals, and for this go-round, I do hard pans on the background vocals. I double them up, hard pan, but then I did a low-pass filter, so I rolled off a lot of the top end to make them sit a bit farther back and to make the lead vocal track just really pop. But because I did that low-pass filter, not really too sibilant on the background vocals. But when I was listening on certain headphones, I found the Pure Tube to be a touch sibilant on the singing voice. I'll go ahead and link that. Check it out if you want. Let's jump to what you had to say. The first comment comes from Ted C. He says, I bet you after next week, where there are a lot of dislikes, I bet you get a note from YouTube that your next video after that one won't be suggested to people as much as they were before. Not sure language, but you'll get a note. Ted, thank you very much for the comment. I appreciate it. I always love hearing this type of speculation. I have never received a note from YouTube about likes or dislikes, and I have never seen a content creator post about getting a note saying, hey, your video got a lot of dislikes. I don't think they communicate that. I don't think they would want to communicate that, because that would tell a content creator a couple of things. If they're nefarious, hey, here is how I could negatively harm creators that I dislike. And also, here is how I could game the system. They keep the algorithm stuff under lock and key, not because they want creators to have a hard time, but because they don't want people to know the input so they can game the system and artificially manipulate their videos to get just exponential growth. They want it to be natural. So that is why I don't think I will receive a note. But That is why we're doing this experiment, to dig in and see if we can find if likes and dislikes have an impact on the performance of videos, whether it be the next video or whether it be the video that has all the likes or dislikes. Maybe this will end up killing my channel. It'll be sad because I've been building up this channel for 5 years, maybe at this point. We're on episode 350. It's a lot of episodes. The only thing I can tell you for sure, though, because the likes didn't have an impact, I don't know if the dislikes will. If you haven't heard, go ahead, dislike this video. Most disliked video on this channel. Let's make it happen. We need at least 150 dislikes, which you won't know. You won't know if we have that many because YouTube hid the dislike counter. But the only thing I will know, even though I am asking people to do it, I have been trained by YouTube that I will feel terrible seeing those dislike numbers. I will feel terrible seeing the amount of downvotes that I have. That's the only thing I'm sure of. Next comment we have comes from Dylan Beamer. He says, I hate the want to hear something crazy? 56% of you aren't subscribed trend that a lot of influencers do. Why not thank the percentage who are subscribed instead of guilting the people who are on the fence or are just new viewers? Dylan, thank you very much for the comment. I agree completely. This bothers me so much, but do you want to hear something crazy? 29% of you watching are not subscribed. You aren't subscribed. Go and smash that subscribe. We'll do the subscription thing later. I'm not going to do that too. This is a serious stat, though. I looked it up. 29% of people watching this channel are not subscribed. It's so funny, though, when you think about it. People complain, 56, 60% of you aren't subscribed. And they frame it as a negative. They frame it as a bad thing. That seems like a good thing to me. I love that 70% of the people watching this are subscribed. I appreciate every single person watching. But the fact that it's 70%, 71%, that means that only 29% of the people watching are new viewers. The higher that unsubscribed number, the higher percentage of people, the higher likelihood of new viewers coming in is. So the higher that unsubscribed viewer number is, the better. You're growing your audience. You're being exposed to new people. This channel, not so much. And I appreciate every single one of the 71% of you watching and listening to this who are subscribed. You are incredible. Or if you're on a podcatcher, chances are you are subscribed as well. Unless you just downloaded this single episode, a weird choice, but welcome. Consider subscribing to the podcast in whatever podcatcher you enjoy. Thank you very much. Who was it? Dylan. Next, we have a comment from an ink guy. He says, I am disgusted to just now, after years of watching, find out you use fountain pens. Please tell me you aren't using that abysmal blue cartridge that comes with it. And if you aren't, what ink are you using? An ink guy, I hate to be the bearer of bad news and to make you vomit in your mouth, but yes, I am using the abysmal blue cartridge that comes with Lamy Safari fountain pens. I am sorry. Why am I using it when I have alternatives? Because it's ink, it came with a pen, and I am not going to let it go to waste. I have a few other Lamy Safaris, and I bought official Lamy replacements, and the color that I landed on is blue-black. Blue-black. I enjoy that color a lot. My favorite ink that I have, I don't have many. I just have the Lamy. I have some Kaweco replacement cartridges. But the one that I like is Mont Blanc Midnight Blue. I know it's boring. Oh, blue ink, how boring. Gosh, yes, I know. I'm a boring person. I am a basic B. I should start looking into green ink because I have kind of fallen back in love with green, even though I'm colorblind. Let's not go down that road. Bandrew's talking about being colorblind again. God, shut up, Bandrew. I should start looking into green inks. But I have too many collections. I have too many hobbies. Look at the microphones. Look at the audio gear. The watches. the pens themselves, the knives themselves. I have too much stuff. So the way that I have approached fountain pens, at least, is I have a handful of them. I don't want to buy a bunch of them. I found that I really enjoy the Lamy Safaris, so that's what I'm using. I like them a lot more than the Kawecos, so that's what I landed on. And as far as the ink, I use what I have. When it runs out, then I'll try something else. I have the Mont Blanc ink. This will last me, 10 years with the amount of ink in there, but it's great ink. And when I run out of the blue-black, I'll look into getting some green stuff. I know there is just a deep, dark rabbit hole in terms of fountain pen ink and fountain pens in general. I don't know. I don't know if I can stomach going that deep on another hobby. I've done it on audio gear, on watches, and EDC stuff. I can't stomach another expensive hobby. I have the pens that I need. Give me ink recommendations for a good green, like a forest green ink, and I will go ahead. This is the one ink that I will buy because I still have plenty of this blue-black ink. This is the one time I will do it. Give me a recommendation for a good forest greeny kind of ink, and I will pick it up. For Lamy Safari, if possible. Or just one of these things, and then a Lamy Safari converter, if you could recommend that. Thank you very much, Ink Guy. Appreciate you. And the final comment comes from CS. Hey, Bandrew, what program are you using to record the audio from the mics? CS, thank you very much for the comment. I capture all of my microphone audio using something called Audio Hijack. It is a piece of software for Mac only, unfortunately, and it is by the developer Rogue Amoeba. This is software that I find so useful that I will never switch to a different platform. I will never switch off of Apple. I will never switch off of Mac OS until the Rogue Amoeba software is on that other platform. That is how reliant I am on this stuff. I also use Loopback from Rogue Amoeba. I use SoundSource from Rogue Amoeba. I bought Farrago back in 2017, 18, 19. That's their SoundPad software, but I don't use that anymore because I don't have sound pads that I play live on the show. But I am so incredibly reliant on that software that I can't use another platform, another operating system. So there you go, Audio Hijack by Rogue Amoeba. And they are doing a bunch of crazy new updates. I haven't even looked at the release notes, but they have new active noise reduction in Audio Hijack if you want to use that. It seems pretty cool. It's powered by artificial intelligence, large language models or something. It can't be a large language model. How would a large language model do active noise cancellation? I don't know. Everybody is throwing artificial intelligence, AI, in their posts, in their releases to jack up the price and the value of their company to sell off to the next highest bidder. I don't think that's what Rogue Amoeba is doing, but I am reliant on them. Okay, that is it for this week. We're not doing Ask Bandrew again. If you want questions answered, go to askbandrew.com. We will be getting back into it eventually. I'm just taking it a bit easy. I don't want to talk about creator ethics again this week because I know everybody else besides the people involved in the conversation are like, shut up, I don't care. So we are taking a break from it for a little bit. Well, we will revisit it because there are more submissions and questions. And that's it. AskBandrew.com. Thank you so much for coming by this week. I love you. I hope you have had an amazing week. I hope you have an amazing Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Next Sunday, I will talk at you. I love you so much. You are a beautiful, amazing human being. I cannot wait to talk to you tomorrow. Not tomorrow, next Sunday. Dislike this video. My camera just died right in the middle of the outro. How obnoxious and annoying is that? So I had to start it again so that I could have footage for the last 10 seconds of this episode. Thank you so much for coming by. I love you. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye. Whoa. Whoa. Boop.
This has been a Geeks Rising production. Your executive producer is Bandrew Scott. For more information, head over to www.geeksrising.com.